Hello, I'm Lynn Strobel. Welcome to episode 23 of Enigmatica 2 on the FTOG server. I'm standing on top of my rocket launch thing, whatever, tower. I moved the launch pad from over there to here. The reason is I wanted it centered on a chunk because I know that when I'm gonna launch my rocket and I'm gonna place a spaceship in the air, in space, it's also gonna be should be centered on the same place. When I landed on the moon, the coordinates were exactly the same as the coordinates were over there where I left from Overworld. I also made a 16 by 16 launch pad where I will be building part 1 of the space station. 16 by 16 is the largest size, 3 by 3 is the smallest, and the height I think can go to, I don't know, 64 blocks or whatever, but we're not going that high just yet. I do want to build almost chunk size parts for my space station. The reason why I want to build a space station is because the moon doesn't have that much to offer, right? The only thing that we found there was the ore, iridium, and there's nothing else. I want to build a colony. I'm trying to think, by the way, is that cleared? Yes, it's cleared. I want to build a colony, which is quite tricky on the moon because there's no atmosphere, so I might go for further planets that have one. And you can't do that with a normal rocket. You're gonna need to build a space station. So, look at the quest book. Oh yeah, rocket fuel. I didn't look at this last time, but there's a bunch of possible rocket fuels you can use. To progress towards a space station, we need to craft advanced circuit, which is in the cutting machine from a circuit plate, which is not that hard. We will do that in a second. And then we can make the assembler, ID chip, other parts that we want to have. Probably not going to use a CO2 scrubber. Probably not going to use satellite builder and a data processor just yet. I would like to make the warp controller, so I might make the warp core, and otherwise we'll do that some other time. For the advanced circuit plate, we're gonna need gold ingots, blocks of redstone, and silicon wafers. And I'm hoping you're going to behave. Seems to be behaving now. I remember in a different pack I had a big issue with some other machines from advanced rocketry, specifically the arc furnace. I had to start it up and like every time I was starting my pack. Okay, this should give us advanced circuits. Ooh, it gives us 4. For the recipe of the space station assembler, we need dilithium dust. Now I have converted, I think, almost, if not all of my dilithium into crystals. The reason is that for this you get 2 crystals per ore. And if you want to make dilithium, you can either just do 1 crystal into 1 dust, so that's 2 dust per ore, or you can smelt the ores, but you then get 1 dust per ore. Or crush them and get 1 dust per ore. That doesn't make sense. So this is the duplicate. So this is just much more efficient. Space station assembler complete. We can take that off the list, we can take that off the list, and that one. Now, let's see. We want to make an ID chip. Oh, linker, nice. I need to make another linker. And oxygen vent, we definitely want to have a bunch of these. And in this case, I don't think the engine is going to make a difference, so we're just going to go with the cheapest motor. Gravity controller, fun to have. Very simple. Most of the recipes are really, really simple. So yeah, I'm not going to show them. I'm not going to do these 3 just yet. So I've completed these, and instead of just a gravity controller, I also made an altitude and orientation controller. And once we get to a space station, we'll see what they're for. I made 3 oxygen vents for now, but I'm gonna need more of that, of course, in the future. Now, for the warp core, it wants to make once need to make titanium blocks, 15 of them. That is a lot of ingots. And I've been making them with the lead and aluminium recipe, but I think we should go mine on the moon. So let's wear our space helmet and spacesuit. Oh, actually there is one other thing I wanted to make, which is the atmosphere analyzer. I need another user interface, and I just used my last one. Okay, made a few more, and I need one more advanced circuit, and I think it just goes in here, right? No, it doesn't, because that won't. The precision assembler. How do I insert more than 4 items? Actually, did one thing already go in? Oh no, no, it's here. What's this? Fluid input. Maybe I should make a second input hatch. Yeah, you can tell from design that you can have multiple input and output hatches, right? So let's see, I need one more machine structure, and this is the output hatch. I need an input hatch. Let's take this out for now. That was an input hatch. Oh, I already had. Oh no, sorry, it was machine structure. Okay. And then now let's turn you off for now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Ah, okay. So we just need to fix this hole. But we got ourselves the atmospheric analyzer. And the reason I want to do that first is because I want to upgrade, I think it's in the helmet. Yeah, so now here at the bottom, which is hard to see when I have my inventory open, but it says here the atmosphere is 1 atmosphere, which is Earth pressure. And breathable gases, yes, or breathable, sorry. So once we get to a space station and the moon and whatever, you know, we can. I wish there was an easier way to get rid of these blocks. We can tell whether the area we're in is properly sealed, and actually I did make a seal detector, by the way, which is really simple. Just a redstone, a pane, and a fan. And if you right-click on a block, it will tell you that in this case it's chiseled, so it will leak. These are slabs. This is a block. It will hold a seal. The Melissa's doors is kind of leak. We can't use Melissa's doors, right? We can't use chisel and bits. So this is really useful because we want to have a properly sealed area in the space station where no air leaking out. We could launch the rocket again, but I did place a matter receiver on the moon. We're gonna check if it's still safe. It is still safe. I have oxygen with me. Let's see if we can find some rutile ore on the moon. Also, I removed my mega torch because I realized there's no mobs here anyway. And it is quite dark, but that's fine. I must say I quite enjoy mining without mobs. Oh, by the way, I no longer have Optifine currently installed because I had to reinstall the pack due to an issue with the Corridor Devs launcher, so I have to place torches now. And this is rutile ore. Very small vein, but it's a vein nonetheless. And I'm just gonna see if I can find some more around. Why? It's pretty much anywhere between 20 and 35, and 35 seems to be the highest. But I just like to go caving. Well, definitely not as common as dilithium, but I managed to get just over 2 stacks. And of course, with mechanism, that will turn into 10 stacks. Where's my advanced charger? I want to go base. That should last us for a bit. Just over 10 stacks. So we need, hello, 15 blocks. For the quest. And the quantum core itself couldn't be much simpler. Just a copper coil, some plates, and advanced circuits. So that should give us the warp core. And now we can also make the warp controller. And the warp controller is actually something I want to place in my space station, along with the other machines that I got to put in here. This is kind of my space station box. I'm going with a lot of chiseled factory blocks, which is just iron and stone. To make 32 blocks you need 4 feet. And there's loads of different styles that you can use. This is also the same factory block. Then we have Futura block, which is redstone and stone. Laboratory block. That's a stupid word. Laboratory block. Maybe better. Okay. Nether quartz and stone. And Tyrian is iron and stone. But just 1 and 8 for 32 blocks. And I also made a bunch of light gray stained glass. And some facades that I'm gonna need. And I want to have a matter transporter in my base. And I want to show you something for the glass. Let me grab a chest real quick. I made a Astral Sorcery sand generator. It's a source of lava that's flowing and a source of liquid starlight that's flowing. And when they meet in the middle, which is right here where currently there's a block, but we can fix that. It will make sand. The sand will fall, of course, as sand does, and sand will fall onto the torch and break as an entity, be picked up by the ranged collector and dropped into the chest. At quite a nice rate, I can say. This is faster than you can mine it from a desert with Fade Miner. The only issue is that when you switch it off, you have a few blocks. Sometimes it places them, and in this case it didn't. So. There's another thing that I want to start using on the space station. You may remember I set up the ender tanks for oxygen, but actually I had a different idea, and my idea is to make quantum entangloporters. And quantum entangloporters basically can transport items, gases, liquids, heat and energy across dimensions and across space. The only thing is you need atomic alloys, and you need ultimate control circuits, which is atomic alloys, not that hard, teleportation core, which is atomic alloys, and some bunch of other stuff, and refined obsidian. To make refined obsidian, we make an obsidian compressor, which requires obsidian and refined osmium dust. So we've done refined osmium dust in the past, and so this is the osmium compressor, which is really simple. And so it is a bit buggy. Normally it would be 1 ingot for 1 refined obsidian, but at some point it uses a bit more. I don't know why, but it does. So yeah, you lose a bit of osmium to this. It's fine, we get plenty of it. They're also quite loud, do you know? Anyway, that's how I got my refined osmium ingots. So now I have the teleportation cores and the ultimate control circuits with the refined obsidian ingots to make a bunch, and they don't stack. How nice. And so the first one we're gonna set up is in the rocketry area. Now I'm going to place it here in between this conduit that's getting oxygen for the charge pad and this energy conduit. Now the only thing is that I need to configure the size of it. Actually, I can do that right here. First I'm going to set a name to this one, which is down to brackets. Okay, so I'm going to this is my oxygen supply, which is going to be private set. This is the one. LM oxygen, which is private. I'm sorry, people on the server, it is private. I don't need items transferred. I do want fluids, and those are coming in from the right. And I don't need gases. I want energy coming in from the left, and I don't need heat. Right, so this is going to be an insert. Insert on, what was it, pink, right? This is priority 0. I'm going to make this 2 on pink. Insert, this is going to be priority 1. Priority 0 as it is. So now this one will have oxygen and energy, which you can't tell right now, but it does. Trust me. I'm going to build the first part of the station right here. This is what it looks like, more or less, because not all the blocks were transported correctly. I want this block to be northwest of the center because, of course, chunks have an even number, but I like building in an odd number. So right here, that's how I want you oriented. And so, because this is now northwest of the center, this is northwest of the center, I'm expecting my station in space to be northwest of the center. Right? Down one. Now I can just rebuild it. The material list clearly states I'm using, where is it? Light gray stained glass. Oh, I used streaked from chisel and I forgot to do that. So that's why it's complaining. I'm wondering why. It's not a biggie. I can change that. And the easiest way is to go for streaked in here. And then edit, I want to have it's changed. One of the Tanglo porters is going to be right here in the corner. We're going to select the oxygen. Set oxygen channel. And we're going to configure no items. We're going to fluids output stop auto eject. We're going to have no gases. We're going to have energy output to the left. So now if I put my gas charge pad on top here, it should fill up because that one is filling from the gas tank, from the tank into my teleporter into gas pad. Now the transmitter is going to be right here. The metal receiver is going to be right here. And I'm going to connect those with energy conduits. don't have to connect. Insert, insert, extract, and I also want here dining device. Pretty sure that's what I had. Yep. And then to the side of that, I used the warp controller, and on this side I used suit workstation. This side I used, let's see, I can't tell which is which because they all look the same. Doesn't matter too much. Oh, orientation controller, altitude controller, gravity controller. All right, gonna put some fluid facades. Yeah, I made one too many. This is powered, powered, and powered as well. Laboratory blocks. Here. And my chisel. And done. Yes. And then 6 of these. This event. Add 2 future blocks up here. Then I'm gonna do something once we get this in the station. I need a door and I need a plate there, but I think other than that, this will charge my spacesuit. Here I can modify my spacesuit, which I think I'll be doing more on the space station than anywhere else. The only thing I really need now is a pressure plate here and here, a door here. Door doesn't yet make much sense. Oh, and oxygen. Oxygen is going to be in the top here. And this is why I wanted the Tangler porters. Because this oxygen is gonna need, this vent is gonna need both energy and a fluid. Right? So I could do a tank and I could do power cell, make it all really complicated. I figured that this is the easiest way to do that. So this should now get power. Not getting power. Energy. Output. Checks on. It's now getting power. So there's just these 2 blocks on any of my rooms in a space station will provide the oxygen. And it looks a lot better than messy wires and cables and whatnot. And all of this is sealed. If you checked it with the seal checker, then all of this is sealed. The only thing is I need a door. And rocketry has a small airlock door, which is just steel. For the pressure plate, with block craftery, with a player-only frame pressure plate. Unlike other doors, these actually are airtight, but they do require a redstone signal to open. I don't think this is bad. So this I will do once we get out into space. Everything else is set. This doesn't require power, which is nice. This one is powered, this one doesn't require power. So yeah, the only thing now is space station somewhere. Power's coming over here. And let's scan this. Missing set bay. First, we didn't mention this, but luckily they have a very extensive wiki of advanced rocketry that tells me I need a satellite bay and I need a space station ID chip that's not programmed. And now we can scan it. Yeah, tall enough. I did speed that up a bit for you because it's rather slow. And ready. Now we can build it. It's probably going to take just as long. However, we first need to assemble our rocket because we're going to need a cargo bay, I think. Apparently this requires another satellite bay, which I'm going to place underneath here. Tank. Scan should be fine. This is fine. You can build it. And now we have the guidance computer and a satellite bay. The station here is gone, but the station is now stored in this space station container. So is the location. So if we click on the guidance computer, we take out the planet chip we can put in the space station, and in the satellite bay we can put our container. Right? I decided I'm gonna make the satellite builder that the questbook wanted me to make, for which I needed this data storage unit and more basic parts. And the reason is that I want to have a copy of my space station chip in case something happens with my rocket on the way there. I don't know if you need power. Oh. Doesn't want to work like that. One input plug. I'm actually not sure if you're going to need power. I'm just going to put you here. Okay, you seem to be able to work. So this is the, this is the unprogrammed one. This is station 11, and I should be able to write to the second chip. And I now have two space station chips with where hooked it up to power, and well, maybe that was enough. Yeah, so apparently it needs the power for that. Okay, so we now have two space station chips for the destination. I was gonna make another one, but I don't need it now. That way, if anything happens to our rocket on the way to space, you know, at least we have a backup. And we can always go back with a new rocket, just in case. We have a destination, we have our space station container, we have fuel. I say we can go. And theoretically, we're gonna get into space, and then the space station will be assembled for us, and will be assembled by the time we get down. And we should land right on top of it. Cross your fingers. So far, so good. I did change into my spacesuit mid-flight. I'm glad I remembered before I got into space. So now we're gonna descend, and we should be landing on top of our space station, somewhere above the overworld. Ah, there we can already see it. And hopefully the center of both the station and the rocket are gonna be northwest of the chunk center, so that it fits with my creative design. Yes, we landed. We have a station. And We do have very little gravity, but that's okay. Now you can see here we have no atmosphere or no breathable atmosphere with a 0.0 atmosphere vacuum. However, hopefully you should be starting to recognize, oh dear, what happened to all our, ooh, we lost other facades? Do I still have this one? Yes, so this is connected. I just filled up my oxygen. You have power. You are not responding. Oh, you are now. Let's this up, turn off the tray. So I think this is preventing us to make a vacuum. Anyway, let's name the receiver. We're gonna call it LM Space Station. Right, and we're gonna also link our portal to it. And we should be able to go from here anywhere else, so we can go back to our base. Once. I can't check it, but I'm pretty sure it's safe. And we're gonna get a bunch more of these conduit facades. I forgot that I wanted to dress this up a little bit, so I made some chisel bits from another Futura block that looks like it, but it's a little more subtle. So it's not as busy as animation as that one, so it's a lot better. And do the same here. I had checked, by the way, and there is no way to change the config for advanced rocketry. So instead I just reduced the overall block sound volume, which is rather annoying though. But I think that these look a lot better as such, and they still work. I tested this on my creative world. They still work. But they look quite nice as teleporters. I mean, I can even show you here, because if I set my target here to be the space station, why? It was working before. Oh, okay. Let's see. Can I not remove? Yes, I can. Okay. Interesting. It was working before. Let's see if it's working now. It does have a name, by the way. Yeah, you can access it. That's fine. And so one is a receiver space station. One is a transmitter space station. Transmitter blocked. Ah, man. It was working in my creative world. Maybe it worked once you dialed it? No, transmitter blocked. Well, there goes my plans. Base station, dial once. Yeah, now it works. Ah, man, I'm bummed out by that. Because it looks so nice in my creative world. Oh, I didn't mean to break you. Alright, well, we'll just stick with the plain ones. Another thing I said I'd show you once we got to the space station were these controllers here. So the orientation controller tells me something about, or sets the rotation of the space station relative to the planet. You can now see we are rotating. And it looks nice, just a little bit of rotation. Should now be rotating under 2 angles. Could actually increase one of them a bit more. I don't want to go too wild. But I like it that it's not static, right? You can actually see the background disappearing. Now, the altitude is how high are we above the planet. So we're quite far off, but maybe we want to be further. We should now be moving away from the planet, and the planet should become smaller for us, which I just think looks nice. I think maybe I want this a bit more. Yeah. I hope you're not getting dizzy watching this. It feels weird if you're inside this room and you see it turning, but yeah, we're still moving away from the Earth, so you can see the Earth somewhat getting smaller. You can see more of it, which I think is nice. I might actually move this up a bunch more. And gravity, actually, well, it shouldn't be that surprising. This is the current gravity, but we can adjust it. And I think if we stay in the green, would that be what Earth is? So 100 is more or less what Earth is. Right, so let's put it slightly below that. But yeah. Oh yeah, this is of course now we're turning and the Earth is going to be above us. And it's getting dark. We should add light sources here. We really should add light sources here. I'm going to leave it here with the view of the Earth and the space station. I'm going to head back to Earth and then I'm going to come back and build the whole station. It's rather big and it's going to take a lot of time, so I will do it off camera. I'll try to keep some snapshots in between. And then next episode, which may be slightly later, we're going to work on powering the station. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please leave a like on my video. If you have any questions or feedback, let me know in the comment section. Everything is appreciated. And check out the links to FTOG if you want to join us on one of our servers. So, thank you very much for watching and take care. Bye bye.